A famous baseball player, Babe Ruth, once said, "Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game." Most people underestimate the game of softball. They underestimate the complexity of the game in general, the hard work, time, and effort that must be put in, and even the money that must be put in to even play the game. So knowing more about the game of softball will help you understand those. The hard work, time, effort, complexity of the game in general, and the money that can go into it. So I have been playing softball for nearly 15 years. I've gone from t-ball all the way to college, and I've been to many different coaches as well. I've seen high school coaches, many different college coaches, and I've also been to D1 coaches as well in different types of camps that I've been to. And I've been to many of those as well, different camps and everything. So my first point I'm going to talk about is gear. So to start off, I'm really going to talk about the history of the bat, of where the bats have actually gotten better as time has gone on. So to start, in the very beginning, they were aluminum bats. Then they went to titanium, and then now the most recent and the most used one is a composite bat. The next thing would be gloves. So there's two different types of gloves, but there's many different sizes as well. So the two different types would be a catcher's glove and a regular fielding glove. A catcher's glove is different because it's thicker so that it grasps the ball a little bit more tighter when the ball is pitched to them. And infielders' gloves are a lot thinner, but they're also flexible so that they can grab a ball easier. The outfield has a slightly bigger glove than the infielders. So the outfielder has a slightly bigger one so that when they are catching pop flies, they have a larger mitt to catch it in. And the infielders have a smaller one so that when they are fielding ground balls, they have an easier time getting the ball out and in a quicker motion. So finding the right bat for you. So there's two different tests to figure out the right size. So the first test would be the length test. So what most people do is they hold the bat to their side, and if it's anywhere between their hip and their wrist, it's going to be the right length for you. Weight is a little bit different. You're going to hold it out in front of your body like this with one arm, and if you can hold it there and keep it there for about 30 seconds without wobbling or getting really shaky, then it's going to be the right weight for you. So a overlooked gear or part of softball would be face masks and mouth guards. So in the younger ages, they mostly use face masks because they're getting more used to the game and getting more confident with it, and so they use those until they get more confident, and then they usually go to either wearing nothing or wearing a mouth guard, which is what I wear. Second part is going to be conditioning. This is a very overlooked but a very, very important part of the game. There's two different types of conditioning you can do. The first one's going to be weightlifting. Weightlifting is extremely important. It helps with your strength. So when you're throwing the ball or when you're pitching the ball, and even when you're hitting, you can hit it harder, farther. You can throw it harder and farther. And it also just helps endurance. And that's what cardio does as well. Endurance and speed, and keeping, when you get your heart rate up, it doesn't make you fatigued or anything like that. So www.softballperformance.com suggests that you do conditioning about 3 to 5 times per week. This is about what I do, but of course that can fluctuate depending on your schedule. The third part is going to be positions. This one's pretty much the most obvious part. There's about 9 spots on the field. There's going to be 6 infielders and 3 outfielders. On the infield, there's going to be a pitcher and a catcher. They work as a team. The pitcher obviously pitches the ball to the catcher, and the catcher throws it, or catches it. The catcher kind of sees the whole field, and they're kind of the commander of it. So they throw people out if they are trying to steal bases, etc. First base, second base, and third base obviously do what their names say. They cover their own bases. They have their 3 spots on their field. And the shortstop's a little bit different. They're going to be in between third base and second base and cover that whole area there. So I talked about gear, conditioning, and positions. So I talked about the different sizes of bats and the different sizes of gloves and things like that. And I also talked about, in conditioning, I talked about lifting and cardio, and then different positions on infield and outfield. So, again, learning more about the game of softball will help you understand the complexity, hard work, time, effort, and money that goes into it. So I hope the things I talked about can help you really understand some more of the in-depth parts of softball, and maybe you can come out of watching this with a better knowledge of the game. Although I only talked about some of the basic parts of it, like gear, there's much more to learn and understand about the games and different and more complex aspects of the game as well. So thank you for listening.